Have you ever had a book, a phrase of wisdom, or even this video show up in your life at just the right time? Not when you were desperately looking, but just the right time for your soul to hear it. It's not a mistake. It's not a lucky algorithm or a stroke of luck. Not long ago, you felt this, right? That everything around you is trying to tell you something. The way you feel is your consciousness, or awareness, starting to work at a different frequency. Thoth, the ancient master and voice of wisdom, knew what was going on. He knew that you can't force real, deep wisdom. It can be bad if it's given too early. Because of this, he made his most powerful lessons work like a quantum library. The books and the wisdom are still in a state of superposition, which means they are in a field of pure potential that can't be seen or reached. They are not real until your consciousness or energy reaches the exact frequency that you need to see them. Because you've reached that frequency, you can see this right now. This message has been observed by your consciousness and brought into your world. You can think of this as the observer effect for your soul. A lot of people try to force themselves to become more spiritual by reading a lot of spiritual content. But real growth is never forced. It is a letting. It's a giving up. You are finally ready for this video to find you. Remember that you were led here for a reason before we start. Share this message right now. This action does more than just send a link. It builds an energetic bridge, a quantum signal to another soul whose consciousness is also tuned to this frequency and is waiting for this activation. Also, please subscribe to this channel. You can think of it as setting up a stable energetic link, a clear quantum channel that keeps your consciousness in alignment and ready for these deep activations. When people first learn about ideas like Thoth's, they often do the same thing. People think it can help them get things like gold, a new car, or a great relationship. The way they think about it makes them believe that their mind can control the world out there. What they find instead completely changes how they see the world. The teachings of Thoth show us a truth that our modern world has forgotten. People teach us that consciousness is a small thing, a spark made by the brain that is locked up inside our heads. Both Thoth and now quantum physics know the opposite to be true. Being conscious is what the universe is made of. Nothing, not even your brain, comes from the quantum field. It's where everything starts. Take a look. You have never known a world that is separate from yourself. Everything we see, hear, touch, and think happens inside our consciousness. Being conscious is the only thing that causes things to happen. This is what Thoth meant when he said, "As above, so below." Your reality, or the world around you, is a perfect reflection of how you feel inside. This is the part where most attempts to manifest fail. People try to get rich even though they are vibrating at a frequency of lack. While feeling unworthy, they say they love you. By yelling at the mirror, they try to change how they look. However, the mirror can only show you what is in front of it, and always will. The mirror can't be changed. If you want to change the reflection, you need to change. You need to change your consciousness so that it naturally fits the reality you want. Click the like button now if you agree with this. This isn't just for the algorithm. It's a move toward harmony. You are putting this frequency of self-responsibility into your own quantum field, which means you are ready to make your own reality. In the past, there was a scholar who really wanted to show political power. He did all the rituals and looked for pieces of Thoth's writings. He tried very hard, and nothing took place. Years later, when he had lost everything and was feeling broken and ashamed, He found the same texts again. This time, he wasn't trying to get power over other people. It was his goal to understand himself. He could read the texts. His life started to flow. It wasn't the text that made a difference. What made him different was how he was feeling. Since what he was observing had changed, he collapsed a new wave function and chose a new reality from the field of all possible realities. If this change starts inside you, say in the comments, "My consciousness is the source." This should be the first thing you do to consciously take power back from the reflection and put it in the observer, which is you. Let me tell you about Brandon, a blacksmith. He hit red-hot metal with a hammer for years, fighting it, wrestling it, and shaping it. His work worked, but it didn't have any life to it. Then he had an epiphany while watching molten metal flow into a mold. He was up against the metal. The metal wanted to flow into the best shape it could take. The only thing he had to do was make the right container and leave. Brandon had found Thoth's basic rule about being spiritually ready. You can't make your consciousness change, just like pulling on a flower's petals won't make it bloom. Trying to rush, push, or hack your spiritual growth only makes it harder. When you try to grow something, you end up breaking it. Thoth knew what happens when people try to skip over the normal stages of their own growth. They keep getting spiritual experiences like trophies, but their character or inner self stays the same. He named 4 specific stages that consciousness goes through on its own. You can't force these steps to happen. The first step is letting go of ego attachments. This isn't meant to hurt your pride. It's slowly realizing that your job, your accomplishments, or your roles are not what make you who you are. When life itself shows you where you are still holding on to a false story, that is true dissolution. The second step is being truly humble. It's not about putting yourself down. It's the deep, heart-opening realization that the universe's consciousness is much bigger than your own mind can ever understand, and that not knowing is the start of all wisdom. The third stage is being still inside. This isn't just the peace you get when you meditate. It's the change to becoming the empty, quiet place where all feelings and thoughts come up. A lot of people try to keep their thoughts in check. This is about getting used to being aware of what you're thinking. In the fourth stage, you receive without grasping. This is the most clever. Being open to an idea, a gift, or a beautiful moment without trying to claim it, explain it, or use it to boost your ego right away. Each soul is here at the perfect time for this to happen. The thing that Thoth called the divine chronos. Trying to hurry through this time frame makes a spiritual imbalance. It's like being able to use a high-voltage power line before you have the right wiring to do so. You get burned. This is the difference between spiritual aspiration, which is soul, and spiritual ambition, which is ego. Ambition wants to be a unique person. Desire is the soul's gentle, natural pull toward its own truth. It's not trying to get away from your humanity. It's trying to make it more conscious. Say this in the comments if you're ready to stop forcing and start letting go. I trust my soul's natural path. By typing these words, you send a strong message to the universe that you are letting go of your ego's schedule and embracing your own divine, natural rhythm. The master blacksmith Kenti found something in his temple. He thought power came from force for a long time. But even the strongest metals he made broke when they were pushed too far. He stopped one day because he was tired of fighting a stubborn piece of copper. He put down his hammer and did nothing but watch. He saw that the metal wanted to move. He saw that it responded to gentle heat instead of strong force. The alloy he made when he worked with the metal's nature was stronger than anything he had ever made. This is the most strange thing Thoth taught. Real power doesn't come from being in charge. It comes from giving up. This is not a sign of weakness, though. It's the most advanced kind of power. Think about how hard it is to remember a name. It keeps getting away no matter how hard you try. The name just comes to mind as soon as you give up and stop trying. The resistance that stops the outcome is actually caused by your ego's desperate need to be in charge. The art of quantum alignment is to give up. When your frequency lines up so perfectly with the intelligence of the universe, you become quantum-entangled with what you want. You don't go after it. You let it find you. Thoth taught 4 different ways to give up power. The first is giving up on results. This means having faith in the process even if you can't see how it will end. It means keeping your desire in check, knowing that the quantum field might give you something even better than you could have imagined. If you are ready to let go, click like. You can think of that click as an energetic yes to the universe, a trusting moment that lets the quantum field work with you in amazing ways. To open your own inner sight, press like. Make this action a conscious choice. This is your way of telling your awareness that you are ready to see past the surface, past the reflection, and into the quantum truth of what is. The second is giving up control of time. The world we live in wants everything right away, but the universe has patterns that work together. Physics calls this block time, and it's where your desire already exists. It's not about making time go in a straight line. It means letting yourself get to the now moment, which is already there. The third is giving up on your methods. Your ego has a very clear idea of what should happen and how it should happen. This makes it hard to see. It keeps you from seeing the infinite other ways the universe could go. Being open to the path, even if it looks like a problem or a side trip, is what it means to surrender. The fourth and deepest is giving up one's identity. This means letting go of the person you think you should be in order to become the person you really are. The ego is scared of this, but this false self is a prison. Your real power shows up when you stop defending it. This is not giving up. This is truly inspired behavior. It aligns your will with the will of the universe, making the power of the river your power. This may speak to the part of you that is sick of fighting. If it does, say this truth in the comments. I align with the flow of power. To fully let go, let this act be a time when you energetically drop the hammer and let the universe's strength become your own. Michelle Campbell was an astronomer who was crazy about finding the prophesied star that was written about in old books. She worked at her telescope for years, making maps, doing math, and forcing her eyes to see. Nothing. After following Thoth's instructions on surrender for months, she finally just looked up one night. It was right there. Unmistakable, brilliant, and full of intelligence. But this is what scared her. They went to the same telescope with her and were shown the exact coordinates, but they didn't see anything. Nothing but empty space. There was the star. It could only be seen by people who had what Thoth called inner sight. The observer effect in its purest form had been found by Michelle. We can see effects with our eyes, like the collapsed reality and the movie on the screen. The quantum field of potential is like the projector before the picture is set. Inner sight shows us the causal realm. How many hours a day do you spend trying to change what's on the screen? You try to fix things, people, and situations that are close to the surface. This is what Thoth taught us about why we suffer. We're trying to change what we see in the mirror. You can see the patterns behind the reflection with inner vision. It shows the real reason. To develop this inner sight is not the same as becoming psychic. Putting your analytical mind to rest is what it's all about. Thoth taught ways to make awareness more open and spacey. You're not trying to see, you're just letting your perception change. Being able to see into someone's mind means that you see more than just their personality. You might be able to sense the lesson they are learning, or the pain that is making them angry. You don't have to let them abuse you. It means you can respond from a place of deep quantum understanding, taking care of the cause instead of just the effect. The people who worked with Michelle couldn't see the star because their minds weren't tuned to its frequency. The reality that collapsed for them was empty space, which they were observing. Michelle changed her frequency when she was in a state of surrender. She let herself see a different possibility, and for her, the star became real. Rachel Phillips wove things. She fought the threads for years, trying to force patterns but only making a mess of things. Beautiful patterns started to appear as soon as she gave up and let the loom's rhythm guide her, letting each thread find its own place. Patterns that didn't seem to come from her mind. On a cosmic level, Thoth knew this. The universe always knows when to do something, and time isn't really a straight line like we think it is. In the world of quantum mechanics, there is no set past, present, and future. Right now, all moments are in a state called superposition. Rhythms, waves, and frequencies show how time moves. The world we live in now loves speed. It wants results right away. Not only does this fast pace make us stressed, it also cuts us off from the basic rhythms that govern everything. Thoth taught that everything has its own time. A time to plant, intentions, a time to nurture, doing, a time to harvest, getting, and a time to rest, putting everything together. There are these rhythms at every level. Your brain waves change every day. Your emotions and intuition move with the moon, and your project energy changes with the seasons. The cosmic cycles, on the other hand, are the deepest. These decide when people are ready for certain kinds of wisdom. It's that time of the year again. Only those whose consciousness has developed to a frequency where they can perceive it are benefiting from the collective's inflow of ancient wisdom. So trying to grow too quickly leads to karmic imbalance. You are trying to live in a frequency that you are not yet a vibrational match for. Running a 1000-volt program on a 100-volt system is like that. You will only short-circuit. This is where giving up is very important. It's about letting go of your attachment to a certain date. It means learning the difference between action that comes from inspiration, which makes you feel good, and action that you have to force, which makes you feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill. Trust the process, even if it seems like nothing is going on. It's dark when seeds sprout. A butterfly breaks down into goo before it gets back together. Your readiness is growing in step with this perfect, holy rhythm. You can't make it happen, but you can get in line with it. Share this in the comments if you've been feeling rushed and are ready to trust the sacred rhythm. I trust the process in all seasons. This is a statement of faith in things that can't be seen. It's a way to remember that even when it's quiet, you are in a state of perfect, divine unfolding. Daniel Hayes believed he knew what spiritual power was. He had read and thought about things. He walked up to the temple guardians and was ready to show how powerful he was. He failed the first test badly. Regardless of what he did, it never worked. Something changed after his third try, when he was worn out, ashamed, and had nothing left to prove. He didn't go up to the wall as Daniel the spiritual seeker, but as open awareness. The wall broke down like mist. The basic paradox that Daniel had just come across was that the ego that wants spiritual power is the only thing that stands in its way. Your ego is not your enemy. Thoth said that the ego is like a character in a video game that helps you get around in this 3D world. There's nothing wrong with having an ego. It's because you forgot that you are the player and not the character. You've become one with the mask. Great inversion is when your ego starts to use you. What does this mean for me? Is what every spiritual thought goes through. It is said that every moment of peace is my achievement. The way of Thoth is not to destroy the ego, but to make the ego clear. It's a way to see the patterns of the ego without judging them. You learn that you are not your feelings or thoughts. You are the big, empty space where they happen. Giving up the ego's favorite costume, the need to be right or special, is what it means. An ego that is clear still works. It's still possible to talk and pay your bills. But your soul, the light of your true self, shines through it. When you act from your ego, you feel forced, competitive, and needy. When you act from the soul, it feels natural, curious, and fun. The ego wants to gather experiences. Being aware that all experiences happen in awareness is what the soul knows. True power doesn't come from learning more about spiritual things. It comes from being empty of self. Megan Foster was an alchemist who was trying very hard to change copper into gold. Even though she used all the old methods, the metal wouldn't change. She finally gave up at 3 a.m. when she was angry and upset. Her desperate need for a result turned into calm, patient interest. At that very moment, when her mood changed, the copper started to shimmer and change. Because of what she did, the metal didn't change. Because of what she became, it changed. Megan had learned what Thoth had taught her. Being conscious is a moving, vibrating force. It's a radio from space. The stations that match your current frequency are the only ones you can see and feel. If you change your frequency, you can see a whole new world that you couldn't see before. Thoth found that there were 3 main frequency ranges. The first one is called survival frequencies. These are states of fear, lack, and being apart. Your mind is drawn to threats, competition, and limits when you are tuned in this way. The survival channel is all that's on your radio. It's not that you're unlucky. The second one is called transitional frequencies. In these states, you feel hopeful, interested, and open. You can start to pick up on signs of possibility here. It looks like a different world. People seem to be more willing to help. Synergies are something you notice. Things in your life are changing because you are changing. Mastery frequencies are at the top of the range. These are states of love, gratitude, and unity. From this point of view, you don't just see reality. You know that you are making it. You know that what you are on the inside is what people will see on the outside. Now here's the secret. You can't get to a higher frequency by the power of your mind. You stay on the same channel when you think about it. You need to become the new frequency. You need to feel it. As you click like, you should feel your energy change. Feel this click as a lock in this new frequency. Your power as the creator of your reality is being activated, and you are tuning your radio to the channel of love and mastery. This is why being grateful isn't a trick. It changes the frequency. This is why meditation isn't a way to escape. It's a way to change your frequency. Quantum physics today proves this to be true. The observer effect shows that subatomic particles' actions can be changed by thinking about them. Your mind is not just a passive observer. This is what determines which possibility from the quantum field becomes your real experience. Feel like you can change the station? Say it out loud in the comments. I am the tuner of my frequency. It's important that you choose to write this. This is your chance to claim your power as the operator of your consciousness, not just a passive listener to the static of the old reality. It took Stephen Phillips 15 years to study Thoth. He understood the principles, got rid of his ego, and was able to change his awareness. But something was still not there. He was angry that something in his life wasn't going his way one Tuesday as he sat in his garden. He did everything possible. The need to control finally went away in that moment of complete surrender. He saw it. He wasn't separate from the spirit that moved the trees, the light, or his own breath. It was all one smooth process. I don't need to convince the universe to work with me, he realized. I am the universe going through what it's like to be Stephen. Unity consciousness is the most important thing that Thoth taught. It is the last and most important recognition. You're not a very small thing. In a single drop, you are the whole ocean. There is nothing between your awareness and God, Source, or the quantum field. There is only one consciousness, the quantum field, expressing itself through a single point in time called you. This is the whole truth. If this makes you feel good in your cells, press like. This action is a strong vibrational anchor that brings this state of unity consciousness into your body and into your everyday life. The feeling of being apart isn't something that needs to be fixed. The point of view is what lets the one experience itself. A rainbow is made when a single beam of white light goes through a prism. Even though the colors look different, they are all just different forms of the same light. Everything has changed. No longer is spiritual practice about trying to get in touch with God. It has to do with remembering that you are divine and are just temporarily human. When you're with someone, you don't see a separate person. You see another form of the same consciousness, and the only way to connect with them is through love. Manifesting isn't about getting things anymore. It turns into the natural, effortless way that the universe wants you to make things happen. You don't change who you are. You set it free. When a great musician knows she is part of the music, she doesn't lose her style. That knowledge is what lets her true, original style flow. If this deep truth strikes a chord with you, say this in the comments. I am that which I was seeking. You are deeply recognizing yourself when you type these words. It's a full circle moment where the seeker and the sought become one. Not that you are becoming the light, but that you remember that you are it. This old knowledge was never meant to be tucked away in old books. It was meant to be lived. Getting away from this world isn't part of real wisdom. It has to do with changing how you relate to it. How do you use this heart-centered quantum reality? You should no longer try to change the other person, the reflection, in your relationships. You change your own frequency to one of love, and the reflection changes in a magical way. You stop operating from the survival frequency of just paying bills as you move up in your career. This is what your soul was meant to do. This isn't just about getting a new job. The idea is to make your job a sacred service by giving it your full, conscious attention. With the problems we face on a global scale, like fear and division, we can all see a survival frequency. The wisdom of Thoth tells us that we can't change the past. We need to be the bridge. We need to hold the frequency of unity so strongly that we see a new, more loving possibility for everyone come into being. It's not easy. The world will always try to pull you back to the old frequencies of fear and being alone. That's why these lessons find you. That's how this message got to you. The only sign you need is that you stayed until the end. The universe is telling you that your frequency is ready. You're not just studying. You are thinking about it. You really are a clear channel. You're a link. You are the thought that everyone has been waiting for. This is not the end of your journey. One last time, send this message. When you share, you send a steady wave of this unity frequency through the group. This makes the quantum network of awakening stronger and helps another soul find this message at the perfect divine time for them. Also, subscribe now if you haven't already. By taking this action, you promise to stay in this flow. It creates a permanent energetic link that makes sure your consciousness keeps getting these upgrades as we all grow. We're just getting started.